Let's hope it doesn't crash this time. Because last time it crashed. Let's see. Ooh, best phone plans for 2024. I love that Stetson Johnson's channel. YouTube Studio. Okay, I'm live. And we'll hit Do Not Disturb. I'm going to go. We're going to monetize this mofo live because for some reason I always forget to do this. So I've started writing myself a note. Monetize. 1:10:24. Boom, boom. Morning, Joe. Okay, we're gonna close that down. We're gonna go to the home there. Let's refresh this. I need to refresh this. They keep coming out with new stuff. This is a good article too. I have a lot of stuff to set up. Scans. It's gonna be a long one today, I think. This is a pretty good. I mean, listen. I'm gonna include every article that I can on this Bitcoin stuff. Bitcoin hysteria and the stocks to trade. Boom, boom. Morning, John. Hold on, let me put up, because I can never see your comments on the screen when I actually start doing the actual thing. But we're gonna. Oh, now it's gonna make me watch an ad, I think, because I monetized it. Oh, come on. Yeah. I now get to watch an ad on my own freaking channel. And if you haven't noticed, Google is monetizing crap even more now. Buy the stock. I mean, they're probably going to have crazy good earnings. I would think. We're going to close that down. Okay, let me just make sure. There's nothing. They've been showing me like 4 ads for every video that I watch. Yeah, Friday's data. CPI print tomorrow. Yep. CPI print tomorrow. Let's just look at that. To be the catalyst. Okay. That's what's going to happen tomorrow. We'll just say that. Morning, Chris. Don't write off another Fed. What? You crazy. You crazy. Third downgrade this month. Wow. Did they just get hit with another one? Is that just today? Oh, come on. Do I need the... I don't need the heat map from yesterday. Who cares? Let's see. Yeah. Apple hit with third downgrade. Apple hit with third downgrade. Let's put that in, since that's a huge one. Boil up. Juniper Networks match. Third downgrade in a month. but price targets remain the same. Larry! It's funny that that name being yelled out has never gotten old and will never stop making me laugh. Okay, let's get over to the algorithm, 4-hour algorithm. Where are we on QQQ? I mean, here's the thing. We have confirmation above in the afternoon, both 2 days ago on Tuesday and let's see, January 8th. January 8th was Monday. Confirmation in the afternoon on January 8th. January 9th, Tuesday, confirmation in the afternoon. That's awesome, Larry. I love Webull. Man, I love Webull. I need more cash in Webull. That's the problem. If you haven't signed up for Webull, there's a link down below where you can get some free stocks. But that app, just to trade in that app, it's so nice. Let's look at TQQQ. So here is Monday. We have confirmation in the afternoon. Here is Tuesday, and we have confirmation in the afternoon. So not full confirmation, but, I mean, shit. In pre-market, you're down 0.20. You're at 48. You're hitting 50. I mean, this gap right here at 50.45, you're going to that. Let me see about I taught everybody volume sliders yesterday. Let's take it back. This is the pop that happened. You know what? That's probably a good place to have it here in July. So where are people holding? There's still a little, you're kind of in this realm where there's no real shelf. A shelf is building between 48 and 49.50. But yeah. Yeah, Larry, Joe wrote me a great note last night. It was great. Joe's like, listen, one trade, and he's paid for both his TrendSpider and Seeking Alpha for the entire year, and it's January. So, anybody that's gotten these tools and hasn't made money, look inward, young man. Let's do some scans. And this is the thing, and I keep telling people this. I'm making money. If you're not making money, there's something different that you're doing. And I don't stand over. I had a great discussion. Wow, we had a lot cross up yesterday. We're in a bull market. We're back to going. Yeah. MACD is standard 12.26.9. I have played with the MACD before, and it's closed, by the way. 12.26.9 closed. That's what I have. It's just a standard. If you Google MACD settings on YouTube, you will find a lot of people who play with it. A lot of people who tell you this is the best setting. A lot of people who tell you I've made a fortune using these MACD settings instead of these. My trading partner and I, because our system is based on the MACD, we did a ton of testing on the MACD, and nothing worked out better. I think, if I remember correctly, let me see if I expand my my list. I think I can see it because I may have it in here. As hidden. No, I may have it in my other. My testing, my other workspace on TrendSpider. Yeah, I may have it in my other one. I don't see it. I had another. There it is. So here's the other one that I use, Sam. Just so you know, 821.5. Close. 821.5 close is the other one that I do here. And I'll show you on screen. So here's 12.26.9. You can see. Here's 821.5. They act differently. And you can play around with them. 821.5 did not work on our algorithm when we back tested it as well as 12.26.9. And that may have something to do. The algorithm includes moving averages. So it may have something to do with that in the fact that it underperformed with the mix of those moving averages. So, but I will tell you, the 821.5, anything on the MACD, because of the way that the indicator works, in my mind, I think it's the most solid indicator that I've found. Morning, Mike. So, Sam, play around with it. And I tell people, use my algorithm. When you get TrendSpider, you get my algorithm when you sign up through me. Play with it, enhance it. In fact, I had a great discussion, by the way, with James. Let me see, James Ford. This is his newsletter, and his Twitter has been hacked, so I don't want to show his Twitter. But his Twitter was hacked last night, unfortunately. But pragmatic investor. He's going to release it on YouTube, and we had a great discussion. And we were talking about the MACD and indicators and stuff like that. I think everybody will get something out of it if you listen to me. Morning, Nevin. Okay. Wow, look at this list. This is a solid list. Okay, brokerage holdings. Let's continue doing scans. Brokerage holdings. Microsoft is in there. Yep. PanW is in there. CRM. I do own CRM. AMD. XLK. PayPal. IGM. Snowflake. Google. We'll put in GOGL because I actually own both. My GOGL is quite a large lot that I bought before I know that Google was buying back GOG. Okay, so we've gone a little bit negative. Here's the prediction. We've gone a little bit negative in the futures. Futures are down. You will wind up by the end of the day. So there's my prediction. But remember, I'm a douche on the internet. So wow. Okay. Covered. I'm not going to do covered calls. SPY-I has a cross up. XYLD has a cross up. Here, I'm going to close this down. Collapse that. We're not going to put all those in. We're going to look at energy names. Energy's just been crazy bad. NXE, not even putting that in. Levered ETFs, there better be bull cross-ups on levered ETFs. TECL. By the way, remember the dude who, I forget who it was. This is the FANG, Microsoft FANG index, 3 times levered. Wow, that's a good one. We just had a cross-up on this. Let's look at the long term. Weekly. Wow. That's a solid moving ETF since 2022. Whew. Wow. What's there? Let me see. Seeking Alpha. FNGU. Fungi. I'm a mushroom. I'm a fun guy. People also follow. Look at that. Microceptors. This is the FANG and Innovation. 3 times levered. Bulls. Let's put bulls into this list. Why is this? We're going to put bulls into the levered ETFs. There we go. Now it's bull. It's there. Let's see holdings. There are no holdings. Oh, it's a levered ETF. That's why. Yep. Levered due January 2038 is an exchange traded note launched by Bank of Montreal. The note seeks to track 3 times the daily performance of NYSE FANG Plus Index. The index comprises of public equities. Interesting. Now, bulls, let's see about this one. Which bank is this one held through? 3 times levered ETF, exchange traded. Bank of Montreal again. And this one has quite a... but it's all 2023. I mean, look at the 1 year. Up 325%. 5 year? I don't think it lasted for 5 years, no. But the 1 year, let's see, advanced. Let's just go back basic. Max, there it is. It's down 64% since it started. FANG and innovation 3 times inverse. BERZ. We should put that one in. We'll put that one in too. Levered ETFs. So if you're in my program and you subscribe to these, in TrendSpider, you get updates. When I update the lists, you get the updates so that you can scan with them, you can look at them, you can do whatever you want. VUG. This is, I think, the total market. Growth. Yeah, Vanguard Growth. That's a good one. Let's see spider sectors. Did XLK? XLC. XLG, which is a good one. XLK. Yeah, XLG is the top 100, top 50. I'm sorry, top 50. My dad bought into this one early last year. I said, Dad, I don't like holding the S&P 500. I think the top 50 will outperform. I just had a feeling, and so he dumped a bunch of money into this and bought it. I think in the neighborhood of like 32, 33. I mean, it's 37 right now. So it was a good one. It was a good one. Still is a good one. Let's see the not owned. I mean, if you don't know what, I mean, this is the list of scans is huge. Which to me says we're in a bull market. Wow, American Eagle. This is one that I sold in December of 2022 for like $13. It's at 21 right now. Poof. IONQ. We have a cross up on IONQ. Meta. I've got Meta in the list. PFF. I'm not going to put in Fiverr. The list is going to be too long to go over. Mara puts. I am going to go over. I want to look at the 5-minute chart after hours. Pinterest got a cross up. I should add Snap in here. Let me add Snap. I need to add Snap into my portfolio because I do own it. I'm going to put it into my brokerage holdings. And I'll put it in not owned. What the hell? We're going to put it in there too. That's Snap. Snap just continues to go up. The problem is they've never made a profit. How it's up that high, I have no idea. No clue. CRM, Nike. Nike with a cross up at 102. Are we on a rebound there? Let's look at the NASDAQ 100. Zscaler, great company. Starbucks. Monster. SNPS. I don't even know what that is. What's that? Synopsis. Nice bounce off the 200-day. Workday. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at the S&P 100. I mean, it's and you guys know when I said this in November and December, when you get this many that are cross-ups, and the list is huge, it typically means, let's go, giddy up. Okay. So I've got a list of probably 20 names here, 35, that all have cross-ups and look bullish on the algorithm. So that's crazy. Let's see. So let me look at what I was going to do. 4-hour run. And you'll see entrance and synopsis at 501. It's pulled back 10%. Not because of earnings. This is, again, we talk about confirmation all the time. See? Didn't have confirmation. All of a sudden, now we've got confirmation. Cross up on the MACD, well below the oscillator. The RSI's at 40. And pre-market trading at 504. The one problem you have is when we pull it back, here to July, the last time we saw kind of a run up in this, because you can see the run up there. The last time we probably, let's pull it here. We'll pull it in closer because I don't think that was enough of a run up. Let's pull it in to November 1st when we really started seeing stuff. You have got volume up here in the 530, 540 area. So, I mean, that you can't, let's see, high PE, average target price 624. Most recently in November, Needham buy 660 is their price target, trading at $500. You're down 2% year to date. Could gain 2% by just getting back to where you started. You trading on in the 1st of January last week. Last year it was up 56%. So, I mean, there's how you find a company. Here, January 3rd, options exercise. They sold at $494. The chief revenue officer and the director, not small, $4 million, $5 million bucks. But Mahoney just option exercised that whole the 4,000 shares, and sold 9,000 shares. So probably just a rotation. More than likely, when you see stuff, more than lane, when you see sales at the beginning of the year in that size, they're just taking the money. They're going to invest it and pay that. Hopefully, they'll make the taxes back by reinvesting it. That's all they're doing. I don't think it's a knock on the stock whatsoever. But I don't know Synopsis all that well. Let's see. Let's look at SNPS. Maybe I'll put this one in as the bonus stock for today. Oh, you know what I do have to cover? I do have to cover SMCI. Joe and I were talking about SMCI. Hold strong buy from Wall Street. Valuation is a D, but everything else is an A. Now the quant, this is what's interesting, is the quant, let's see. The quant, it really hasn't gotten to extreme buy. So, was that what it is? Solana and Botox? I think I had HBO. When I watched it this morning, it was HBO. So I have to watch ads in order to watch it on my iPad Pro below next to me. So, yeah, I mean, listen, monetize this mofo. This is the deal. I'd rather make money from ads from you guys than to charge for stuff. And the money from ads is nothing. Shit. I don't even make lunch money here on YouTube. You need to have so many views to actually make money on YouTube. I mean, I've got, 1,200, 1,300 subscribers now. I get somewhere in the neighborhood of 300, 400 views a day. It's maybe a penny per view. Not even a penny per view. So, it's not much. I like ads though. I like ads because I'm cheap. Boeing CEO was really good yesterday, by the way. I liked him. I thought he did a good job at that all-employee meeting. Toast and more. What the hell happened with Toast? Added 5% pre-market after Goldman upgraded the stock. That's crazy, man. Toast. I have several restaurants. Yeah, it crossed up. I just went over all the... Brendan, you may have missed it, but we're in a bull market. So Toast has... You know what? I'm putting this in my not owned. Toast is a software platform, kind of like DoorDash, but they don't do the delivery. It allows local and small, medium-sized businesses like restaurants specifically to automate their ordering process online. And I've used it in several locations, and I really, really like it. The software is great. They don't charge as much as DoorDash from a percentage standpoint, but it's expensive as F. I mean, that's the thing is they have to grow. Forward PE is 63. Price to sales is 2.81. They're losing $309 million. They have plenty of money on hand. They have like 2-3 years of cash on hand with how much they're making. But, that's just... It's up. Yeah, it's up. Honestly, Brandon, buy it under 20. It'll go back over 20. Look, see, okay, here's what I see when I look at the chart. I see the MACD is crossing up while it bounced off the oscillator mark there. The RSI is at 64, so it's a little bit overbought, not crazy overbought. You do have confirmation, and you just crossed the 200-day. So as long I would put in a buy at, say, wait for the first half hour of trading to actually go through. Then I would look at it. ARKW is so good. ARKW in my mind is her best fund. In fact, I'm going to put this article in up top. But let me get to SMCI. You're getting me off. But I would probably put in a buy. If you really want it, I'd put in at 90, just market order right now. I think you'll hit 20 by the time the market opens, and you could probably just sell it at 20 for a nice little profit within 15 minutes. I think it's going to run up. So you sell it at 20. And then you wait for a half hour, and I think you could probably buy it back. My guess is, $19, $19.20, somewhere in that neighborhood. Yesterday, it looks like it. You're going to trade up to this level right here, 1990 right here, which puts you well above the 200-day with confirmation. So. RX. Let me look at RX. And then I'm getting started with the podcast because I got a long freaking podcast. Recursion Pharmaceuticals. I think you kind of brought this one up to me, Scott. You may have brought it up because I said, hey, trade it. It's got confirmation. I don't remember putting in this note, but I had to put it in there. a couple of days ago at $10. I probably said, don't do it. Let's see, RX. Losing $292 million. They have cash on hand of about 180. But it's a solid, it's up 2% right now. You're probably going for that $16 up there, I would think. I don't know much about it. Let's see. RX. Let's open it up here. Wall Street, buy, Seeking Alpha Analyst, buy, quant hold. But let's take a look at the quant real quick. It's not crazy that it's hold. It's getting up. Yeah. The revision's D+. It says it's 228 out of 519. Let's see what the number one top biotech, Nicart. Let's see. Let's see year to date. Wow. The number one, and let's look at the quant. When did it change to strong buy? Here, 1227. So NKTX. Let's look at NKTX. This is how you follow the quant on Seeking Alpha. NKTX. Let's look at December 27th. That would be when it changed. You were trading at $5.43. $5.43 on December 27th. You are trading at $10.25 right now. So it's the number one quant. If you just looked at it on December 27th when it went from buy to strong buy, yeah. So, yeah, SMCI's, listen, there's a method to my madness. You're at 343. Pre-market, you're at 347. So Joe asked me what I was going to do with it. I will make it, well, I'll do it on the podcast. I'll tell you what I'm doing with it. Yeah. See? How many times did I say I'm pouring money in? I've got a very large position in this too. Let's put it this way. I've got such a large position, I can't sell without a significant tax event this year. See, and we're what, 10 days in? And we're talking if I sell this at 350 because it's in a brokerage account, it's an enormous tax event. Yeah. I've been pouring money into this. I've been telling people it's below the oscillator here. It's going to come back up. The RSI, it's oversold. The valuation isn't crazy. The quant here, I set up an alert for it for when it goes from a hold to a buy. Let's look at the quant. Here's the quant. Oh, I did set up. Oh, I wanted to know when it goes. It triggered. It triggered equal or worse. It triggered on 1/8. Reactivate. Let's see. We're going to do mobile. Equal or better. Select ratings. No. They're saying hold. So they're saying hold. So if you want to take profits, that's it. I mean, again, Seeking Alpha probably would have paid for itself. If this one goes back down to 300, it would have paid for itself. The new banner's been there, Christian. Or Brandon. Wow. Biotech is getting, it's not the big names in, oh, look at this. Best and worst performing big names of 2023. Look at that, number 8. Okay, I got to get started on this mofo. It's the biopharma and healthcare. It's not the big cap names. That's making some money. Making some money. Okay, let me start this mofo. Let's see. I'm gonna open up some links. There's a link that Sherry put in. Our resident. I'm naming her our resident beauty expert investor. Here is Apple's downgrade. Here is Juniper Networks. I wrote a note that Juniper Networks is getting bought. If you didn't know, Juniper Networks, there was a Wall Street Journal article on Monday that they potentially, HPE was potentially buying them. So it shot up on Tuesday. It shot up even more because it was confirmed that they're buying it. So I just bring that up because there's another article, Nutanix ticks higher on takeover speculation. So this is another one that's probably going to pop on takeover speculation. Great list of stocks for 2024 growth. 10 surprises that could disrupt the market. Bitcoin hysteria. How will Bitcoin react? Bitcoin ETFs are approved. Downtown Josh Brown. Great newsletter. SMCI. We're going to look at that one. And James Ford. Okay. Okay. I'm going to hit Kathy Woods. Kathy Woods is really good. I mean, listen, in bull markets, she's really good. When that market turns, you don't want to be in her funds. So, okay. Good morning. It's hump day. Wednesday, January 10th. Hump, 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 hump. Hump, hump. Where are we on the markets? We have confirmation. I mean, here's the thing, and as I go through this, you'll see. We have confirmation on QQQ. B, we have about 35 to 40 stocks that actually crossed up and are bullish in the algorithm. Remember what I said in November and December? When you see that many and that many turn, it typically means that we're going for some type of bull run. Here's what you have to understand. Tomorrow, Thursday at 8:30, we get our CPI print. That's Consumer Price Index. That is inflation. If that shows that inflation is indeed under control, the market will fly again. It means new all-time highs. It means get into TQQQ. It means get your ass out of SQQQ. Do whatever you need to do to get into stocks. I think this year is going to be bullish. I think we're going to see huge runs on this because we still have the Red Sea. The Houthis fired we shot down 20 drones and missiles last night. We still have Israel, invading Pakistan or, going into Gaza and wiping that out. We still have Ukraine and we still have Russia and we still have a cold winter that's going on. So you've got a lot of things that are going on. Doesn't mean that a catalyst won't bring it down because, again, we could get a catalyst down. Say Trump is taken off the ballot and the Supreme Court agrees that he should be taken off the ballot. I don't think that's a good thing for the market. I think the market will probably react to that type of thing because I think there's going to be reaction to it. So we do have catalysts. We absolutely have catalysts. So understand that I'm not saying, hey, if you're all cash, load up the Brinks truck and get in. I'm saying that 20%, remember, we've got a portfolio of 40% where you don't touch, 40% you do it quarterly or bi-yearly. And then 20% you're trading. At 20%, you better be in the market. Just better be in the market because I do think there's opportunities out there. We'll go over the opportunities. I will include in the newsletter a Tesla scalp video that I started to watch it this morning. Didn't get all of it. Looks interesting. Because scalping, if you know about confirmation, again, if you're part of my newsletter, I go over this in the newsletter, in the paid newsletter about confirmation, about Bollinger Band. I'm going to go over it this weekend again, confirmation, MACD, button hook algorithm. All of those things that I teach you about in this newsletter, you can use on any time frame chart that you want, even a 5-minute chart. If you want to trade on 5 minutes and you get confirmation, trade on 5 minutes. It's not that big of a deal. It's not that hard to figure out. People will charge you $1,200 and $1,300 for a course where they just teach you, hey, buy when you're above the 9-day EMA, sell when you're below the 9-day EMA. So, I'll include a chart too. Warrior Trading, who is Ross Cameron, who's really, really a good trader. He trades momentum, doesn't trade any stock that has anything that you ever know what to do. He trades just on the charts, but he took like $10,000 to about $10 million. He put out a great graphic about the ultimate candlestick chart guide for beginners. I'll put that out in the newsletter today. Again, the newsletter is free, just the weekends are paid. I had a great discussion yesterday with James Ford. This is his Substack. This is his newsletter. He's a market generalist, I would say. He and I had a fantastic, he basically interviewed me. I think you guys will get something out of it if you're new to the podcast. Even if you're not new, maybe you find out something that I haven't said before. But again, that'll be out probably later today, I think he said. Here's an article, Stocks to Watch on Wednesday, where we're just going over TOAST, T-O-S-T. So if you want, tune back in. The biggest news of the day is the Bitcoin ETF. And that's enormous. But let me just point something out to you guys too. And all of these articles are going to be, and even this one, this is Josh Brown. You may have seen him on CNBC. He's one of the most entertaining that and just knowledgeable. I really, really like him. I listen to his podcast. He's got a newsletter, downtownjoshbrown.com, and I'll link to it in the newsletter as well. He talks about in today's newsletter, Eddie F. Elfman informed me his actively managed ETF, ticker symbol CWS, has beaten both Cathie Woods and Warren Buffett. So let's look at CWS in Seeking Alpha. And I should have probably done this before, but we'll look at CWS. You can buy into CWS. It's publicly traded. It's not something that's kind of closed off. It's advisory shares fund. If we go over here to charting and we just look at a 5-year return, and we'll select the symbols. We will select BRK.B, and we will select ARKK. And we will look update chart. Let's look at the 5-year. CWS, if you held it for 5 years, you're up 97%. Look at ARKK. S&P 500 up 84% over 5 years. BRKB up 86%. He's up 97% over 5 years. Let's just look at 1 year. 1 year, he's up 21%. ARK is up 50%. So it does matter when you get into these. Now, 3-year, ARK is down 64%. BRKB, they're up 57%. So it's a mix. But this article and this newsletter that Josh put out goes over it. All of the stocks and things like that. I like it. I really like that newsletter. So if you're into it, sign up for it. Now, what happened with Bitcoin? Bitcoin briefly spikes on false report that the SEC approved Bitcoin ETFs. The Twitter account of the SEC said, and it was about 4:41 yesterday, that Bitcoin ETFs were approved. It later came out, literally 5 minutes, Gary Gensler, who's the head of the SEC, put out a tweet and said, that's false. We were hacked, blah, blah, blah. Overnight, Twitter puts out his thing. They weren't hacked on Twitter's side. We don't know who did it. The SEC is being shady as F about who did it. Was it somebody that just did it preemptively? And it's going to get announced today or tomorrow, because that's the assumption. Remember, they had to respond by January 10th to the GBTC stuff. So maybe they responded already, and maybe this statement just got put out inappropriately, but they haven't been clear about it. So don't trust the SEC. I mean, again, these guys, they're so anti crypto. It's just crazy. But that's the first article. The second article is about the hysteria over a spot Bitcoin. Why is it such a big deal? If you don't know why it's such a big deal, read this article on Seeking Alpha. If you're not a member of Seeking Alpha, you can sign up for Seeking Alpha by going over to Linktree. Right here, you get a $50 off coupon if for some reason you can't read the article. If you want to read this article because it tickles your ass with a feather and you want to see it, just send me an email and I'll send you a gift. I have 5 left for the month, so I'll send it over to you as a gift so you can read it. Doesn't mean that you can read every article. It's just that, hey, this is a gift article. I only have 5, so if you do want to read it, you're going to have to get in soon. So email me. Again, on my link tree, there's an email address for that. I do want to look at one stock in particular, Mara, because what I want to do in TrendSpider is take a look at the 5-minute chart of Mara and see what happened yesterday during the time when it was around 440. I think it read. If we look at the after hours on TrendSpider and we just go to a 5-minute after hours and we take a look, you can see Maro's starting to. Here is, let's see, 440. We've got 1900, 405. So this is the time when, let's see, 440. There it is. Mara didn't respond. Mara didn't respond a lot. You can see this candle is a 0.32% period, 0.5%, 0.2, 0.4. So within that 5 minutes, it did not respond. This morning at about 8 a.m., you see a big candle. Usually at 8 a.m., you see a big candle. Today at 9:30, when we opened up, we're seeing a big candle, 1%. Mara is down 2% to 25. What's going to happen? The best way to look at this, whether you look at Mara, Riot, GBTC, whatever you want to look at, the best way to look at this stuff is to go into a 5-minute chart and just look at what happened at 440 yesterday. There wasn't a huge kind of run up on this stock. So it will get announced. It probably will get announced today or tomorrow. It's just something that probably just, I mean, it's the most anticipated thing. Now, Bitcoin did run up to about 48,000. So it was hype around that. Somebody made a lot of money yesterday around that particular one. If we look at, by the way, Mara here on the algorithm, you're in at 942. Hasn't gotten you out yet. I would have thought it would have gotten you out. Hasn't gotten you out. The moving averages are such, and the Bollinger Bands are contracting and cinching up. Looks like we're going for another move. But it hasn't given us a direction of that move. Again, the Bollinger Bands are still in the process of cinching up. Where are we going? Well, if we take a look at the last time this thing spiked and we move this, I went over it yesterday, the volume sliders, and we bring this back to kind of the last time that we got out, which was July, we can see, the volume levels right here are pretty good. Volume levels down here are even better. If we get into this range of 16 to 22, if you break that 24, 23 kind of area, look out below. Get out. It's probably your best bet is just to get out because the volume is not going to have to break through in order to get there. You're probably coming all the way down to 16. Taught you how to look at that yesterday. Go back and listen to yesterday's stuff to see it. 10 surprises that could affect the markets. This was interesting. High bond rates, high bond taxes push investors back to stocks. Companies survive 5% rates with a surge in bankruptcy. IPOs come roaring back. The worst developed market of the past 40 years is this year's best. This was the interesting one that I wanted to look at. DXJ and EWJ. DXJ is a total market of DXJ. They don't have it for some reason. Let's see if I can find it in Seeking Alpha. DXJ. It's basically a Bank of a Japan stock market overall. DXJ. Let me see. There it is. Wisdom Tree. Why is it not? No, I don't want DXG. DXJ. There we go. Wisdom Tree. Japan Hedged Equity Fund ETF. Quant says buy at 4.43. Its holdings are top 10 holdings: Toyota, Mitsubishi, Japan Tobacco, Mitsubishi, Shin-Etsu, Mizuho. Again, Japan has been a solid year-to-date winner. Let's see what this is up. This is up 2.94% versus the S&P, which is down 0.28%. Over 1 year, DXJ is up 42%. So the market in Japan has been running. I put in DXJ. There we go. If we look at this stock on the algorithm here, algorithm for stuff like this is not great. The algorithm makes you 40% versus 42% buy and hold over 2 years, which is a great return. Algorithm got you in at 88. You're at 92 right now. Doesn't mean that you don't get in. If we look at a long term of this one and we go back to a weekly, you can see we're quite high on this. So it's one that, again, when it gets into the news, you kind of ask yourself, is it one? But that's one, you have EWJ as well. That is my look at that one. Investors get pragmatic about XLE. Analysts expect investors to be more interested in the need for reliable, affordable power. Supply is tight and fragile after years of underinvestment. NERC added energy policy as a key stability risk, but demand is rising. If demand rises for energy, that was an interesting one as well. Again, great. It's 10 surprises that could shock the market. Top stocks with efficient growth in the fourth quarter. This is an interesting list as well, and it's something that you should take a look at. Microsoft, Advanced, AMD, Meta, Pepsi, KLAC, which is KLA Corporation, Colgate-Palmolive, Lowe's, Qualcomm, Moody's, Chipotle Grill. These are stocks that could continue to grow in the first quarter, so ones that you probably want to look at. Again, Colgate-Palmolive. I use Crest. I think it's Colgate. I don't know. I'm not buying into Colgate. I'm in Microsoft. I am in AMD. I am in Meta. I am in Pepsi. I don't have Lowe's. I do have Qualcomm. I don't have the others. So I have quite a bit of that list. One that I wanted to look at too, Nutanix. This article just caught my eye. Nutanix ticked higher, up 0.5%, partly amid speculation about takeover interest. Let's look at it. NTNX is the symbol. Let's put it in. NTNX. Because the other one, the reason this caught my eye is because yesterday I had put a note in about Juniper Networks. It soared 20% yesterday following a Wall Street Journal report on Monday that Hewlett-Packard is in advanced talks to buy the networking name for around $13 billion. The deal could be announced this week. It was announced yesterday, and Juniper Networks soared 21%. Juniper Networks today is trading, let's see, where's it trading? It is trading at 37. It's up another 2%. But Nutanix, same kind of deal. It's Nutanix just got a cross up here at 47.48. You're trading at 47.70. Look at the MACD. It's down there. If this is a takeover target, this one could pop another 20% as well. Long term, this one's kind of expensive here. But I wanted to bring this up because this is part of what you could use Seeking Alpha for is, hey, they're saying something's about to be taken over. It's got a high quant rating. Maybe I want to look at this one. But it was interesting to me yesterday. Match Group shared 12% as an activist investor, Elliott Management. This is the one that took over PINS. So MTCH, whenever somebody takes it over, you want to look at it. I never paid for dating sites. I wasn't a big dating site. If you can get it for free, if you have a personality, you can meet people. I'm from old school boomer. If I want to go on Tinder and stuff like that, I'll go on Tinder, but I'm not paying for it. So the algorithm got you in at 34, and you're at 39. And it popped up yesterday up here to, it looks like 42. I mean, that pop and then the pullback. Again, any reaction in the market is an overreaction. Apple hit with its third downgrade of this month. What's interesting about this one, I'll include this in the article. What's interesting about this is they didn't move the price target. If you go over here, and most people have access to FinViz since it's free, you go over here and you look, Downgrade today, buy to neutral. They kept the price target at 200. The target price is still around 200. January 2nd, Barclays brought the price down from 161 to 160. They were bears already. Doesn't mean that, I don't take a look at that. When the stock's trading at 200 and you bring it down to 160 and you were at 161, am I going to listen to your opinion? Hell no, I'm not listening to your opinion. If we take a look at Apple and the algorithm, Apple today is down 0.37. I say it's capitulating here. You've got a gap above it between 188 and 191 when the first downgrade started to come in. I think you'll fill that. You can see it's kind of just holding on to this 200-day. The Apple typically just buys back enough stock that even these downgrades probably will hold it in place. I will not, get rid of all of my Apple or sell all of my Apple for some type of thing. But SMCI, I've got a big, did I go over SMCI? I don't think I went over SMCI. SMCI, I've been pounding the table on this one. I have a big enough tax event on SMCI that if it does hit this 350 mark, we're at 349.75. If it does hit that and reject off it, I'm not selling. I've got a lot of money into this. I will trim a portion. It's in a brokerage account. But what I will do is trim and take that money that I sell, and in my retirement account, I will start a new position in SMCI. And I will start it. We've got confirmation. The valuation on SMCI is not crazy. This is what I'm doing. I got a message from Joe yesterday. Hey, it's about to hit that 350 that you said. Well, yeah, it's about to hit that 350 that I said. The valuation is not crazy. The forward PE is 17. The PE is 31. That's not crazy. Go and look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA PE. It's the 70. The forward PE is 25. Again, NVIDIA is going to, break upwards. I own NVIDIA. I have a really good position in NVIDIA. Not as much as I have in SMCI, because SMCI had that great valuation down there. Yeah, it was up 400% last year. Still love it. But I'm going to switch this from a brokerage account to back to a retirement account. Because I do want, at these levels, I want to be able to trade it without tax events. That's essentially my plan. I don't need the cash. I'm going to take the cash out with trimming some. I can't trim it all because we are talking life-changing, or tax event-changing money. I am not going to get all of my income that I have to pay 20% on in the month of January. F that. Even if I think it's coming down here, I'll just hold on to it because I think the long-term aspect of SMCI beats trading SMCI. And shit, look at Meta. Meta's up at 360. Ugh, God. Social request. Sharky from email. What are your thoughts on IRDM? Let's look at IRDM. IRDM. PanW is up 200%. 2%. It's up over 300 again. IRDM. Algorithm just got you out. IRDM. Let's see what they do. Because my guess is they're not making money. They're losing $24 million. Their forward PE, their expected earnings, is at 126. They are telecom services. Let's see what they do. Engages in provision of global satellite communications. It produces products that include personal computers, messengers, trackers. I don't know why you get into this one, honestly. I see somebody bought 28,000 shares at 1 million at 37.01. Right now, you're trading at 39. I think that may have put in a bottom at 37, but you don't have confirmation. You've got gaps above it. I just don't know with that losing money how you're going to make money. I mean, they're losing money. They're losing $23 million. They have cash on hand of 55 cents out of 125 million. So what do they have? 70 million bucks. If they continue to lose money at 23 million, I would wait for them to make money before. It doesn't mean you don't trade it, but it has no confirmation right now whatsoever. If you take a look at a long term of this one, we go weekly. You're at the 200-day. You're below the 200-day for the first time. This has been an upward trending stock. So for the first time, you may have a buying opportunity, but your 50-day is still negative. Your 200-day starting to turn negative. Your 9-day is still negative, and your 21-day is negative. So those Bollinger Bands are cinching up. If we pull this back to, let's see where people are holding this. This was the last spike up, January 25th. This is the range where people are holding it. There is a higher, a lot of people are holding it up here at 60. So there's quite a big volume shelf there. But you've got to make your way through this space, which is 53 to 57. And those people at 57, when you get closer to 53, might say, you know what, I'm just going to take the loss. It's run up here from 39.40 up to 54. I'm just going to take the loss. I don't know about the long-term aspect of this one. I don't know why that drop has happened. That is through a bull run of a year. 2023 was a good year. From June, you just sank, let's say, from June, let's say that you just fell off a cliff with these earnings. You went down 35%, 36%. I mean, I'm seeing this kind of as a floor here, Sharky. I'm seeing this right there. If you just draw a line, that's at about 34. So 39 am I buying? Probably not until I have some type of confirmation. And I'd say you trade it. Sam from Facebook, if you had 1K just sitting, what would be your top 5 to invest in, or would you put it all in one stock? I'd probably break it out. But to be honest, I had 1K, and I had 1K when I opened up my Webull account. And what did I do? I bought a ton of Apple. I bought, I traded TQQQ, and I kind of, I just kind of traded it. It's at $4,000 now. Let me see what I'm at in Webull. 4180, 4,180. And I have Apple, I have Caterpillar, I have Snap, I have Ford, I have Spotify, I have Palantir, I have Boeing, I have TQQQ, which I bought into, Google recently. I'm down 1% on TQQQ, but I did add to it. Google, Kraft Heinz, IONQ, I'm up 10% on IONQ. Almost all of these except for Ford. And the only reason I have Ford is because that was given to me and I didn't sell it. Some of the ones that were given to me, I sold, but Ford, I'm down 16%. It's all of 11 shares, 10 shares, something like that. It's not much. And some of these are just 5, 6 shares. Gap, I'm up 45% on, but I only have 1 share. Procter and Gamble. So the majority of my stuff that was $1,000, I bought Apple. So if you have $1,000 and you only have it in your account, my guess is that you're just starting out investing, or you're kind of new to investing. I would learn to trade with the charts and take 50% of your money, meaning 500, put it into a stock that you like. You could put it into an ETF like QQQ. You could even put it into an ETF like VOO. Whatever you want, I'd say put it into something that is going to grow, and you sit there and buy 50% of that. I would say the other 50% that you have, try and take 10% or maybe 50% of that. So maybe 25 and 25. 25%, you should have swing trades. Maybe more than a month. The other 25, hold it for a week. Remember your pattern day trading, PDT rule. You're going to be limited. If that is not a retirement account, if it is a brokerage account, you will be limited by that. So it's not something you can day trade in. And I learned that with the $1,000. You have to have more than $25,000. So Joe says from Facebook, check out EBIXQ. I don't even know what this is. EBIXQ. And here's the key point, and this is what I wanted to include with Joe. Joe says, short interest, high beta. This thing has huge swings in price, already paid for Seeking Alpha and TrendSpider in this one for a week. So he finds these little penny stocks that are super, super volatile, and Joe trades these, and he's been able to pay for the tools that he bought, TrendSpider and Seeking Alpha. Remember, if you get TrendSpider, I send you my algorithm. I send you my watch list. I send you my scanners. You basically use this link, sign up at TrendSpider, and you use code DSP25. So go down here, show plans and pricing. And these are the two. You can choose monthly at $149 a month, or you choose yearly at $124 a month, and you pay for it. This is the key. If you go in there, even though it's saying save 17%, you put in the code DSP25, you get an additional 25% off. It's huge. They've allowed me to do this. I've partnered with them. It's a great partnership. But Joe has been able to trade for, get TrendSpider just from this one trade, EBIXQ. It is not one that I would go into, not one that I would even trade. Joe has more balls than I do. He is brave. Long live Braveheart, Joe. I don't know what, Mel Gibson yelled in Braveheart, but my arm's up with you. Kudos to you, EBIXQ. Hayden Hancock, can you look at SE? Let's look at SE. Is this C Bridge? This is C Limited. C Limited. Macro descending wedge, consistent volume consolidating. I've trimmed 2 times, but mostly holding around $38, waiting for a $2 step up. No big news. It's tying up capital. So let's look at this one. He's holding at 38. It's at 37.90 right now. Downward trend. I see the algorithm got you out at about 38.82. The 4-hour algorithm right now, the RSI is sitting in no man's land at 45. The MACD hasn't been doing much. You're kind of consolidating. What I see is this kind of range right here between 35 and say 45. If we pull back the stock to, let's just say before the last earnings drop, because it does look like it's earnings. And you even mentioned it. Consistent revenue, but they must be expecting a lower revenue because look at the 2 earnings gaps that you've got. You've got this first gap here at 56 down to 45. That presents you the first level of resistance right there. And then when you had your second earnings and they came in and they lost 26 cents, you gap down from 46 to 41. So that creates the next gap at resistance. And you can see it's just bouncing right off that 42 mark right there. But I would say this is your trading range. It goes back to August. That's pretty much until the next earnings. I think you're going to see this 42 be the resistance standpoint. If we look at some of the fundamentals of SE, they are an internet retailer, consumer cyclical. They have an income of $669 million. It's just a high PE. If you take a look at internet retail, it's from Singapore. If you look at this and we look at the PE, typical PE is around what, the top one, the bottom one is 2.1. It's a little bit high. I mean, look at that range. You're right in the middle there, so it's not crazy high. But it's for me, for a consumer cyclical, it seems a little high. Remember the S&P average is right there. You can see multiple bottoms here at 34. Target price is 56. Most recent December downgraded. They didn't put a target price there in August. Wedbush outperformed $48 price target. Nothing in here that excites me and says, oh my God, I think it's going to pop. 38, probably not a bad one to hold on to because I do think from this channel, I think you get back up between now and the next earnings. I think you get to 40. I mean, if you want I think that's a solid play. Just make sure that you downside. I think if you get down to 36, I think that's where you just pull the trigger and you say, hey, it's not working out. Thesis is wrong. That's a nice tight stop loss. It's not quite 10%, but you're risking 10%. I mean, maybe put your stop loss in at 5%. So you're risking 5% to make 10%, on the upside or 5, whatever percentage that you want. I just, the 2 gaps down, I mean, and even you go back 3 gaps down on earnings. When you look at it, I think that gap is earnings. Let's say, yeah, look. I mean, you've got 3 gaps down on earnings. So they're continuing disappointing. So Hayden, probably not one that I would get into. Daniel from Spotify. Hey, dude, I love the videos. I was wondering if you could evaluate GE. I've heard it's splitting into 2 different companies, which means more shares. What do you think will happen to it this year? So I have a long history with GE. This is the company that I often refer to when I go super long. And I tell you, this could be Apple. This was a darling back in the late 90s. I invested in this one from 1991 all the way through, probably I'd say I held it here to about, 2001. Didn't time it right at all. But I held it, invested down here at 36, made me quite a bit of money. You can see it just had the darling. And if you held onto it and you were hoping that it came back, you weren't rewarded. And you haven't been rewarded. This is trading at levels that it was back here in 1996. So my thought is, if you take a look at a long term of GE, it's in a rebound. And if we just, if you think that range, you go back here to 2018 and you look at this range right here, you're at the top of the range. So I'd say you'd have to be at a pretty good, solid, some type of catalyst that would push me over. Now, here's the thing. Over 2 years, and you just look at the algorithm. The algorithm makes you 70%. Buying and holding makes you 65%. So you have 22 positions. So the algorithm works on this one, slightly outperforms. We've been in a run on this. And we've been in a run, not just this year, 2024, the late thing. You go back to December of 2022, all last year. I mean, look at this run. If you got in on December 21st of 2022 and you got in there, you are up 100% in 384 days. 100% in 384 days. And again, they're doing well. Earnings are good. I think you're right that it's splitting. I don't think it's super expensive. It's solid cash flow. It's just a rebound. Your forward PE is 27. So they're expected to grow significantly less than they've been growing. Your forward PE is higher than your PE. So I don't know that I necessarily want to get in here. And to be fair, Daniel, it may just be because of my long history with GE. If we go over here to Seeking Alpha and we look at GE and let's look at the quant rating and how they're doing in their industry, blah, blah, blah. The quant rating, let's see, General Electric buy from Friday, December 29th. That's a good article to read. Receives order for wind project. You can see the quant says hold. Let's look at the quant history rating. It's been hold. I mean, every now and then it gets to buy. They just went to hold from a strong buy, and they moved on 1/8, so January 8th. But it's still got A's. It's ranked 3 out of 8. So, the number one is Siemens, SIEGY. Second is Brookfield. 3 is GE. So this is in the industrial conglomerates. I don't think it's horrible. I just think that there's probably better names out there, and that run scares me. But again, I say this not knowing what it's going to do this year, but my history with GE is long. And I didn't sit through that downturn. But I have friends of family who have worked for GE and sat through that downturn. And I saw what it did to their retirement accounts to the point where they had to go back to work. But they believed in GE. I don't believe in GE. It's just hard. Tristan, hey, Gary, would you review AMR? I've been watching it for the last half year, expecting some pullback that never happened for a buying opportunity. Would it be smart to buy at all-time highs? Let's look at AMR. I don't know what it is. AMR. Alpha Metallurgical Resources. Quant has it as a hold. Seeking Alpha Analyst, buy. Revisions, F. Momentum, A+. So it's been, kind of going up there. 1 year, we're looking at 151%. Year to date, you're up 12%. That's crazy against the S&P. Let's look at the charts for a second. AMR. So we know what they do. I'll look at the fundamentals from FinViz. We know what Seeking Alpha says. Seeking Alpha says you're perfectly fine. You're right. You haven't had a pullback. Alpha Metallurgical Resources. They went from $12.16 earnings to $6.65, and you saw that was your opportunity during this time. But it's got confirmation. It's in. If you were looking at the algorithm, you bought on November 8th. The algorithm makes you 203%. Buying and holding makes you 492%. So, if you want to get in on this run, my suggestion would be wait for the algorithm to tell you to get in. Because while you're making 492%, if you're nervous about buying at all-time highs, wait for the algorithm to tell you to get in, because then at least you have some protection of knowing when you can get out. Your average win in the algorithm is 25%. You win 42% of the time. So you have a 50-50 shot of winning, and you have more than likely going to make 25% on an average win. So I don't know that I would buy here at all-time highs. AMR, the PE is 7, forward PE is 11. It's a coal company. I mean, what justifies a coal company going up that much? Is it the price of coal? August 21st, we got a downgrade from TD Cowen. They reduced the price from $200 to $194. You're trading at $374. Your average target price is $399, but take that with a grain of salt, because I don't see $399 in these guys. It might be an older one, an older target. Let's see. I can't click on the $399, but that's a crazy price. I mean, the upside just isn't there. I think there's better places to put your money. Doesn't mean that this one may not go to $500, but I'd probably wait. I mean, look at that line right there. For me, that's too rich to say, hey, I'm going to start a position in the Tristan, to be honest with you. Noah asked for Nike, LNC, PFE. I went over PFE yesterday. I won't go over that one again. Even though it looks good, I think you can trade it. LNC, I don't know what LNC is. Let's look up LNC. LNC is Lincoln National Corp. This is a life insurance company. I'd buy BRKB, to be honest with you, if you're interested in insurance. It's boring to me. I'm not in insurance. This is PE is 11. Seems a little bit expensive. Performance year to date up 3%. Average target price $27.36. Looks like they downgraded in January to $26. You're trading at $27. Looks like a double top right about here at about 28. So I think your upside, your 52-week range, you're at 36 is your high. So you're 23% below that one. 52-week low is you're 50% above that. So you're kind of on the upside of this one. If you wanted to trade it, has a nice dividend. I'd still buy BRKB, to be honest with you. And Nike, just wait. I bought into Nike thinking the earnings, it's in a retirement account. I'm still sitting in it. It's got no confirmation. There's no, the algorithm gets you in today at 102, ironically. I wouldn't buy it. I'd wait. The MACD is way down there. I think if you wanted to try and time it, I think you could try and buy it and wait till it pops to 110. I think that's not a bad one. So, but, again, Noah, that's probably me. I'll tell you personally, if I would buy Nike, if you're looking at Nike, I'd rather see you get into On, which has a buy-in here at 28.37. You're at 27.47. It's down 2.22% today, but it's way down. The valuation on this one is a little bit high, but it's not crazy. But On, I'd buy on, on weakness there. And Lulu. Lulu is just taking Nike to town. And you're seeing, 22% gain right there. It doesn't have confirmation. Wait for the algorithm to get you in. Look at this MACD. The MACD is down below the oscillator. Last time it was down this low, it was down here when it was trading at 375. Doesn't mean you're getting down to 325. Just means that this may be another leg up. I don't go to malls, but I have a friend who went to malls, and she said Lululemon is always packed. It's like in the Apple store of clothing. So the valuation is crazy for Lulu, though. If we go over to FinViz and look, the PE is 61. The forward PE is 34. Year to date is down 4%. Last year was up 62%. So resident beauty expert Sherry brought this up. It's a really good article on ELF. ELF has gone crazy. We had a cross up yesterday, I think, on ELF. It's a solid beauty company that has returned huge profits. If you bought and held 2 years ago, you're up 413%. The algorithm makes you 228%. It just got you in at 149. You're at 151. If you want to read about ELF, I will put this in the newsletter. It's a really good article. I did read through it. Makes me want to get out of Ulta and back into ELF. Even though the price is high, they have a solid growth pattern.
I said it at the beginning. There are too many scans to go over here. So I'll go over some highlights. One that is in the core portfolio that has a cross up right now is FBCG. This is the Fidelity Blue Chip Growth ETF. This is one that I personally have been in. I'm not in right now. I think my parents are in this one. 33.28. You're trading right at that rate, at that price now. We have confirmation. The RSI is a little bit high. The MACD's kind of crossing up here. I think you're good in that one. Netflix. I am in Netflix. I'm looking to get more into Netflix. Netflix has a cross up. Here in the algorithm, it got you out with a nice 1% gain after a nice 11% gain. I think we're seeing another leg up. I mean, again, if Netflix is not one of these that I'm looking to trade, I'm just looking to add. And the reason is, look at the long term. You still have 50%. You just got above the 200-day. Your 50 days looking like it's going to cross up with a golden cross. I like it. I like it a lot. Another one that I really like is Meta. We are heading into an election season. If you don't think that these douches are going to spend billions of dollars on advertising specifically targeting people, it's going to be on Meta. It's going to be on Instagram. It's going to be on TikTok. It's going to be on Twitter. They are going to buy ads. The ad market is going to be huge. It's going to be on Snapchat. So you can buy whatever you want. We're still below this all-time high at 384. So at 360, let's see where the algorithm got you in. Let's see. It got you in at 331. This is just another confirmation of a leg up. The RSI is a little high at 70. Are you okay buying here? Probably. Like I said, I own Snap. And I own quite a bit of Snap in my my Webull account. We've talked about Snap. The problem with Snap is they haven't made money. But I got in, 1738 was the buy here. You're at 1692. So volume shelves are worrisome. You got this volume shelf that's building up right here between 1674 and 1720. So buying at 1692, not horrible. They're just not making money. But, Meta, they're printing money. Palantir, these are all in the core portfolio, by the way. Palantir, this one's up 0.49%. We got a buy-in here at 1651. I think you're below the 200-day. If that MACD does what it did back here in September and bounces off that 200-day, you're looking at another $20 stock, another move up. Could be. We don't have confirmation. I'm not adding to my position. I do own a couple of shares of this, not a lot. Amazon. I've talked about Amazon all day long. Should have gotten it under 150 yesterday when I said to buy it in at 150. 150, 37. Remember, these guys have ads that are coming up. These guys have an ad tier for their streaming. They place ads on everything. They have Thursday night football. I don't think they're doing a playoff game. So the football may be over. But this is huge. I mean, Amazon with AI, and if we talk about long-term, again, this is just like Netflix. For long-term, you're still 13% below your volume shelf, and you've got 25% up to your all-time high at 180. I think that's where it's going to start trading. So Amazon, solid move. Microsoft, and I'm just going over the core portfolio. There will be plenty more to look at in the newsletter, but this is just the core portfolio. Microsoft, 375. You're trading at 379. You're up 1%. The CES is going on right now. You've got their earnings coming up January 23rd. If you don't think this will be filled with a bunch of AI, that green line right there is the road to 600. One analyst came out and said it was going to be 600 in 2025, I think. That is the road to 600 right there. And it's right on that line. It's not deviating. Just get in. Add to your positions. Uber. I said Uber under 60. It's above 60 again. I haven't trimmed it. I own a good amount of it. I haven't sold it. But you're at $60.31. I'm just going to add to it. Their earnings are coming up on February 6th. Remember, Friday we have bank earnings. It's the start of earnings season. This is the start of companies that are making money, companies that are growing. This is the start of where they start growing. This is when you want to get in. So Uber, I think, is a solid play. Costco, we talked about that special dividend. It has not moved since that special dividend. We got that special dividend taken out. It just hangs around. You have this gap up here to 672, trading at 670. Algorithm says get in at 667. So I like it. Button hook may be forming, so I may not buy today. That button hook I thought was going to come down here to this gap at 634. Never hit it. It touched it and bounced off. That just means we're going to continue higher. Look at that MACD. Right above the oscillator, got down there. RSI ticked off the 45 point, and it's now at 65. This is a nice long-term play. Costco, just solid play. Google, you could have bought it under 140. I was adding at under 100 early in last year. I was adding under 120 when it dipped under 120. 130 was my price point that I said, hey, it's a solid buy under 130. Under 140, get it. If it's at 142 and you're only buying a couple of shares of it, just buy it at 142. Again, this is AI. It's not going anywhere. PanW, Twitter was hacked. The SEC was hacked, supposedly. Cybersecurity, this is just another reason to buy cybersecurity stocks. $299, get this one for under 300. It gapped up today. You want to know the reason it gapped up? Because people know that cybersecurity is super, super important. So, again, PanW. Now we have others that are not in the core portfolio. We have CRM, AMD, XLK, PayPal, IGM, Snow, Google, GOGL, TECL. There were a few days ago, last week, I think, somebody asked me about, should I get into TECS, the short? No. You should wait for TECL. TECL has a bull run. You got a little cross up here. TECL crossed up under the oscillator. I think you're going for a bull run. This is a 3 times bull technology shares. So TECL, FNGU, it's another levered ETF. This is one that's out of the Bank of Montreal. This is a levered against FANG. This is, 3 times levered. It has a cross up here, 227. You're trading at 230. Solid. It's up 1.25% today. Now, it's right on the oscillator. The RSI is in no man's land. Kind of a risk. You just had your golden cross. I think you continue to move up. So VUJ, which is the growth of Vanguard, Datadog, IONQ, Fiverr, Pins, Nike, Zscaler, Starbucks, Monster, Synopsys, SNPS. This is one that I looked at live with the folks on YouTube. SNPS. This is a solid. In my mind, look at this. You bounced right off the 200-day. You have confirmation at 501. You could get up to this 550 level again. Their earnings, solid. MACD, way down below the oscillator, crossing up. RSI, not in crazy no man's land, just bouncing off and oversold at 20. Volume shelves, if we pull this one back to the earnings, just the last, let's pull it back here. Do we have volume shelf? Oh, come on. I pulled the chart, not the, we're going to pull the chart back. I pulled the chart instead of the damn volume. Let's see. We're going to pull this to the earnings right here, where the earnings started to pull back. Look at the volume shelf. From the earnings, you got a ton of people up here at 550. So there's a lot of people who are holding at 550 that want it to go back up to 550. It's going to go back to 550. Synopsys, SNPS, and GE. So we had GE cross up as well. If you are interested in any of this stuff, the algorithm, Seeking Alpha, it's all on Linktree, linktr.ee/daily stock pick. You can join our private Facebook group. You can follow me on Twitter, X, Voss, Vase, whichever one you want. One of the things that I do think you should do is join Webull. I have $1,000 in Webull. I'm now at $4,000. It's a solid platform. I like trading on it. People have been touting me how great Webull is. Just understand, once you get to a significant amount of money, you want a full-fledged brokerage firm. You want Schwab. You want Fidelity. If you have more than $2,500 that you want to put into Fidelity, just email me. My email's up here. I'll hook you up with my guy, Stuart. He'll give you some money as a deposit, bonus. I don't know what it is. I haven't checked with him this year, but I know he does it for listeners of the podcast all the time. So he'll probably do something for you this year. It comes in a gift card. It's nice. It's just a nice thing. But you do want a full-fledged brokerage firm. Webull is not a full-fledged brokerage firm. They kind of play like it. The great thing is, if your cash is in there, you get 5% even if you're in cash. In this market, I don't know why you'd be in cash. I'm 95% invested, I think. I have enough cash to live on for the next year, just emergency fund kind of stuff, but I need to get into more, and I'm probably throwing it all in today or over the next time. So here's where all the links are. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's CPI day, so I may be on at 8:30. Hopefully I'll be on at 8:30. I don't know if I have my coffee. Take care. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye. Okay. Stopped recording. Synopsis is this one looks juicy. I wish I knew more about it. I called SMCI. If you like biotech, CRBU. Let me look at CRBU. Caribou. This one looks a hell of a lot better than the other ones that some of those dudes asked me about. The gap above 778. It likes the 200-day. You got the confirmation above there, 574, but you're trading at 555. Let's see. CRBU. Let's see this mofo. It's losing 94 million. They have plenty of cash on hand, so you're not in risk of getting diluted. Average target price $22. November didn't say a price target. October they said $13. Nobody's really selling. They're exercising options. It's a good one. CRBU. Let's look at it on Seeking Alpha. CRBU. I don't want crab. Let's see. Pull it up already. Buy, strong buy. Yeah, they agree with you. It's a strong buy. 98 out of 510 in the industry. Let's see. This is biotechnology stock. I think we looked at it. NKTX is the top one. We looked at that one. Yeah. Morning, Daniel. Let's make some money. Mara straight down. Is Mara straight down? Let me see. Mara's down 5%. Wow. Why the hell's Mara down 5%? I think it's just people are selling the hell out of it. I think the short interest is getting out. IYO, has anyone in the chat ever rolled over a 403B and 457B retirement account to a Roth or a traditional, switching jobs and looking for tips and tricks? Christian, I have not, but I will tell you, Fidelity, when I rolled over 401ks, they were in a rather difficult 401k through a company called Insperity. And it was super, super difficult to get them to roll it over. And Fidelity just did a phenomenal job. So I would say call your brokerage firm that you want to roll it over to and get their tips. Ammer, let me see. Am I saying your name correctly? Ammer. Here's PayPal. I am into PayPal with probably a 60% loss. I'm still holding for some reason. I pointed out back here, Golden Cross on December 20th. You're seeing we still have confirmation above the 200. We just passed the 200-day. The 200-day at 59 should provide you some support. The problem with PayPal is this is the first earnings from the new CEO. If we get some type of margin's been their problem. They're not making money off of the businesses that they do. They got out of their high margin or their low margin business, which was Amazon. So I'm not sure what to think. I think this earnings is going to be. I would say take the loss. If you don't want to be in PayPal and you're too nervous, I would probably look to just put your money into Amazon, and forget it. you can, if it's in a brokerage account, take the loss, because I don't think that we're looking at PayPal coming up here and filling this gap to 72. If you need the cash and you don't have a position in Amazon, I would put it into Amazon. I think that's going to make you more money between now and earnings time, which is in February. I think you're going to see Amazon go up more because they have growth. PayPal is a difficult one to do. Now, PayPal may announce some type of merger, may announce some type of sale. I don't know. If that's the case, then they say they sell part of their business. That may make them move up to 72. But I would say the safer bet would be Amazon. So, and Brandon says buy IONQ. I did buy IONQ. I haven't my Webull account. I haven't traded it. Probably should have traded it. Trading on the algorithm makes you 263% versus buying and holding 24 months ago. You lost 5%. That's a huge difference. And the reason is because of this volatility. You get in during the times that you're going up and you get out with slight losses. That's what the algorithm does for you. So, yeah. On the 1 minute chart. It's, listen, I think I said it at the beginning. There's a Tesla scalping chart the video that I was starting to watch, and they were on there. Yeah, Jackson, that synopsis chart looks good. See, Christian, you know about all that stuff. I'm not smart enough. Yeah, Fidelity's awesome. I mean, people don't understand. And here's the thing. Say you have that type of thing and you want to roll it over to Webull, Christian. People don't understand when you get larger amounts of money, you want people that know what they're doing to be able to help you. Webull ain't going to help you. Webull's going to say, yeah, we don't see it in our system. So, IONQ, you could do it on the 65 minute. T-Dog, I think you have TrendSpider. If you don't, you should. Here, the 65 minute, you make 38% versus buying and holding 8 months ago. For IONQ, you're up 85%. So, remember, the algorithm sometimes doesn't outperform. You have to identify this. First off, the stock that's going to make you money. And second off, if you want to listen to it, you can listen to it. You win 34% of the time with an average win of 6.6%. And for, the 65 minute for me just trades too much. Now the 4 hour, this is the one that makes you a ton of money on IONQ, 263% over 2 years. I don't listen to it. I probably should, but I'll probably add to it here. You win 44% of the time. Did they post it on Twitter? Let's see. And patterns, to me, I've never had success with patterns. Even cup and handle. I mean, I know that's a pretty solid. Where'd they do a cup and handle? Breakout rejected 1 hour ago. Yeah, here you go. Right shoulder. That's the head and shoulders on SPY. Is that what you're talking about, Jackson? Oh, Instagram. Let's go to Instagram. They post some different stuff sometimes. Not now. Let's go to TrendSpider. Oh, I think it's the same. It's the Head and Shoulders. Head and Shoulders is what they're talking about. Yeah, same thing. Here's the thing. This is a 1 hour chart. That goes back down to, you have this range here, which they're putting in of 467. It's trading right now at 473. What you have to realize is if we go over here to SPY and we look at the 4 hour and we say, okay, I'm going to get rid of all of these annotations. Remove all annotations. So we're at 474. The VWAP is at 467, which is where they're calling for it to pull back. If we were to pull back, that would be a 1.5% pullback. I'm not a big believer in patterns like Head and Shoulders and stuff, just because I haven't had success in that type of trading. Doesn't mean that it's not justified, because listen, that stood the test of time. Head and Shoulders and stuff like that. I would say here, if you're looking at the potential of us going back down to that level, I would take a look at a little bit longer time frame and say, I think that support probably comes down to about 460. And if that's down to 460, you're looking at probably a significant pullback down about 3%. And that would take some type of CPI number tomorrow. I don't think that you're looking at that today, because we do have confirmation. Look at that. If we even go, I'm going to get out of strategy tester and I'm going to look at a 5-minute chart. Go and look at a 5-minute chart and you can see it's a little bit more sloppy. This is the open right now. So you can see that gap down that we had, where you're seeing the gap down to 472. Might get back down there, but we covered this gap all the way up, which is bullish. You've got this VWAP down here, which is at 471. If we just pull this back, let's see where traders are trading today. Because again, in the 5-minute, you can look at this chart. Nobody who traded down here is still holding. The majority of people are buying and holding in here. So you do have some support at about 473. There's 474. You don't have confirmation over that 9-day. The Bollinger Bands are wide open, but you're trading right in the middle of them. You had this period between 9:30 and 9:45 today. This is all yesterday. So yesterday we covered that gap back up. That's bullish. And look at this Bollinger Band cinch up. And where'd we go? We went up. Now we're just pulling back. Those Bollinger Bands are going to contract a little bit probably. And then it's going to tell us the direction. So again, if you're trading 1 hour, if you're trading 10 minutes, it doesn't matter. Charts are charts. You can look at this stuff fairly easily. Look at that MACD. The MACD is a little bit high on this one. The RSI is at 57. So, buyers or sellers are going to show up. It'll put it down. I'm hearing my voice out in the other room. Yeah. So it's not, again, if you're trading 0-day options, hey, have at it. But I'm not looking at, I'm looking more at 4 hour on these types of things, not trading options or short term. SPY wouldn't be one that I would, I'm not good enough to trade 0-day options. I'm just boring. I'm a douche. I'm dumb. But charts are charts. Charts, again, are just charts. There's no difference between trading a 4 hour and a 5-minute chart. You've got to look at the same kind of thing. It's all about momentum and indicators. That I'd rather use that personally than some type of pattern recognition. And I don't use the pattern recognition up here. I think, let me see. I think I have, triangles, ascending and descending. That's the only ones that I have from chart patterns. Candlestick patterns, I don't have any, I think. No. I have hammer candles. I have those highlighted. And inverted hammers. That's it. Let me see. Do they have a 3-bar? They have three black crows. They don't have a 3-bar. 4 green candles. 4 red candles. Yeah. Yeah. 0-day options are crap. And by the way, that course right there about confirmation and indicators, that's $1,200 on the internet. That's why I try, and get people out. GCT, let me look. James Murdoch. Is that the Murdochs of South Carolina? I will not look at a stock for you if you are Murdochs from South Carolina. I'm fascinated with them. GigaCloud. This has been identified before because I put this in at some point in time. Let's look at the volume here at the last breakout, September. You have confirmation. The other thing that I'm noticing is that uptick in volume right there. Solid. MACD's solid line. Your RSI's at 75. It's enormously overbought. So my guess is this is just with the software infrastructure. PE's 14. They're making money. 71 billion. It's got a $1 billion market cap. So it's small cap, not huge. Average target price is 19. You're trading at 26. Year to date, you're up 43% in 10 days. So there's something going on here. This is probably retail. Specializes in global end-to-end business-to-business electronic commerce for large parcel merchandise. The firm's B2B e-commerce platform, which refers to as GigaCloud Marketplace, integrates everything from product discovery, payments. So it's an e-commerce platform, probably similar to Shopify, it sounds like. Let's see. GCT. Let's go over to Seeking Alpha. Oh, here we go. GCT. Let's see. Valuation, yeah, strong buy. Let's look at their peers. Genuine Parts. I don't think these are peers. They don't seem like peers. Let's look at the summary again. Ranked 1 out of 6 in their industry. Green Lane Holdings. I mean, it's a solid one. Do I think it? Let's look at their quant. I mean, it's been a strong buy all the way since 823. This is how good Seeking Alpha is. Let's look at where it was on 823. August 23rd. If you bought August 23rd and you're up today 105%. So, Mr. James Murdoch, yeah, Minnesota. Ooh, you're cold. I was up there for in Minneapolis for the All-Star game, MLS All-Star game last year. And it was cold. It was freaking what was it? November? October? But it was cold. It may have been September. It was cold. But I don't see anything wrong with it. Even the valuation doesn't seem crazy to me. But I don't know about their future earnings. I don't know if it's this is all just a run-up. It's on the NASDAQ, and it's here in the U.S., so they're regulated. But I don't know too much about it. I'd say, have at it. If you like it, again, if you like this one and you're not sure, go and look at a 5-minute chart and say, hey, should I buy it? Well, here. We have confirmation. We're over the 200-day. We've lost confirmation on the 9-day. I don't know that I'd necessarily buy it. You got a gap down here when you opened up today or closed yesterday. You closed yesterday at 23.52. You got 23.94. So most likely that gap gets filled. This gap down here between 18 and 19 probably doesn't get filled. anytime soon. That is from January 4th. So you've just had this run up right here. I mean, this is, let's get rid of this. Remove all annotations. We'll just show you if you decided, hey, on this day, it gapped up here. So I want to take a look at this gap up because it's running. You'd be up 37% in 6 days. So, but look at that volume. I mean, that volume and the MACD being that high scares me. If it were me, I'd probably look at, if we bring it back to this gap, let's see where people are holding. This is just January 4th at 9:30. So you can see if we pull this back and just look at the chart, you can see there's not a lot of people holding up here. Your first level of defense is going to be 23.72. Your second level of defense is going to be 22. Your third level of defense is going to be 21. And there's nobody holding down here at 18. Everybody who was in here at 18, if they bought down here, there's some people, but the majority of people are still holding. Now, as you get down towards this, these people are going to start to sell, and this is going to shrink down. And so that may produce this 22 as a bigger shelf. And then, this 21 may actually provide the largest shelf there. So it's just a good way of looking at it. Nothing crazy, but it's a good, seems like a solid investment. I wouldn't tell you, hey, get the hell out of there. Again, the gig class, the valuation's the only thing. It's a C. It's a C. And if you look at the valuation, it's a C because their sales, also their price to sales. The price to sales is calculated by taking a company's market capitalization and divided by the company's total sales. So 1.42 seems high. Price to book, D+. They don't have a lot of stuff. Ranked overall. This is overall quant score. It's number 6, did it say? Yeah. Ranked overall 6 out of 4,564 stocks that the quant covers. It's ranked 6. So doesn't mean that you buy it. It just means, hey, it's got a strong upward trajectory. You may be too late to get in, but these guys, this is Monday, December 18th, strong buy. I mean, let's look at if you just say you bought Trend or Seeking Alpha on Monday, December 18th, and you got this analysis of GigaCloud GCT Monday, December 18th. Let's go back and let's run the algorithm from December 18th. Let's just see how much you've made. Because this would have paid for Seeking Alpha by itself. Let's see, December 18th. There we go. You're at 14. You're up 78%. So, yeah. Again, to Joe's point, you pay for these tools by trading. Oh, and it's not just trading and making money. It's about how much you save on the downturn as well. So that's why, somebody said $1,000 for TrendSpider. That's a lot of money. And yeah, it's a lot of money. If that's a lot of money for you, you're not trading with a large enough account. $1,500. I think it takes it down to about $1,100 with the DSP25 coupon code. But yeah, it's a lot of money. But shit, my SMCI tip alone could have made that amount of money for you. So, okay, I'm out of here. I got to go edit this mofo together. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's